I'm just going to present something kind of cool, and it kind of summarizes a lot of the things you may have seen around the festival today, or some of the things that people might have mentioned. So I'm going to actually start by telling a story. I'm going to rewind to September 12th this year, where the entire Cogworks team were in Krakow for the Umbraco Poland Festival. Incidentally, September the 12th is also the day that Apple unveiled the iPhone X that has facial recognition. You can unlock the iPhone X with your face. Now, at the Poland Festival, we were discussing this and kind of joking around about the implications that could have on other systems. So not just necessarily a phone, maybe your laptop, maybe a piece of software. Incidentally, that week, we also got the entire Cogworks dev team together, and we did a little hackathon where we decided we were going to play around with some technology that none of us had ever used before, namely .NET Core and Microsoft Cognitive Services. Our goal for that day was to build an app where, through a webcam, we could recognize who you were and give you like a custom response, so using text-to-speech. So we built a little application that would detect and recognize people in the company and say, hey, Anthony, you look miserable today, or you look happy. So it'd understand emotion and a couple of things. And like I mentioned, we discussed this at the Poland Festival, and we had a couple of interesting ideas. We will open source that .NET Core project at some point, but what I'm going to demo you today is just a quick hack together. It took me one evening. I was a bit drunk, but it does work, and it's actually quite cool. Some of the work that that Off-Road Code have done with two-factor authentication in Umbraco has been really, really helpful. It's also really cool and has got a lot of potential. So what I have built, and I will hopefully now demo very quickly to you, is something I'm calling Face Lock. Anthony built a package called SiteLock, so it's kind of continuing on that sort of line. The idea is it's a two-factor authentication provider for the Umbraco Backoffice that detects your face to determine whether it's really you logging into the system. I'm not recommending that this is actually like hyper secure. It's just a bit of fun, a proof of some technology. We'll put the package out at some point if you want to have a play with it. It works on Umbraco 7.6 and above. There's a couple of little tweaks I want to make right now. Maybe put it in front of one of our designers to get the UI right, but I will very quickly demo it.
It's a two-factor authentication provider. So you log in, and you should then be presented with a screen that says, just verify who you are. So let's see if this works. Live demo. There we go. So I'm up on screen. I have to line myself up properly for this to work. Hang on. So it now goes away and verifies me. Oh, hang on, it's hit some code. Don't worry. And there we go. So I've logged in. So that's fired off a request to Umbraco Cognitive Services. Sorry, Microsoft Cognitive Services. Yay.
It's fired off a request to Microsoft Cognitive Services. I have on my user registered, this is my picture, and it registers that against actually the user ID GUID as my name. So when you log in, it says, hey, this GUID does that at Cognitive Services. Is it this person? And it goes, yeah or no. If it's not, it says retry. I've not focused on like try again or any of that stuff yet. I will when I come to releasing it. I'll also improve the UI a little bit, but it's essentially that. I was able to log into Backoffice and prove who I was just by looking at my webcam. A question. Nisha just asked, what if her twin sister, who doesn't exist by the way, doesn't exist, holds up a picture, and ultimately it will still pass. I did say it's not entirely secure. However, I did speak to one of the Microsoft representatives on Twitter who informed me there's a couple of cameras, also with the Xbox Kinect, that will do 3D scan of your face. And there is a Cognitive Services API that can interpret that and is a little bit more secure. So potentially you could build a Kinect plugin or something for Chrome so that you could use that and actually authenticate with that, and it would be much more secure and would detect that a picture wasn't you. I will not get in the way of you guys going to the bar any longer. Thank you very much for listening to me for a few minutes.